Okay, you guys, so I'm on really quickly. I don't know if it caught the beginning of the intro of this, you guys. I'm actually feeling a little bit under the weather. So, as you guys have seen the news in Chicago, y'all, it's cold here. They say with the wind chill factor, it is 50 degrees below zero. Okay, I don't know how you measure that. I don't even know why they're measuring it anymore. Like at some point, just understand it's cold. Okay, that's it. We don't need to know that it's 50 below zero. We don't need to know that it's 25 below zero. You know what? I think I stopped counting once we got to 15 degrees. And I'm talking about like positive 15 degrees. Like at that point, it's just cold. So my husband came down with a cold. And one thing that they don't tell you when you get married is if your husband has a cold, you pretty much got a cold. So I'm going to try to go through this as quick as possible. But as you guys know, I always talk about operating with intent and purpose. So originally I talked about how to discover, quote unquote, discover new friends, how to get new friends on Facebook. Now let's talk about how to actually manage those friendships, okay? Because, of course, as I say, and I say this time and time again, I had made the mistake of just adding people as friends and never ever communicating with them. Okay. So, the first thing that you want to do is you always want to be communicating. You want to actually build a relationship. Don't look at a person simply as a dollar sign and how you can actually benefit from them, but actually look and see how you guys can actually communicate with one another. And if you're openly communicating with others, you're going to see that that opportunity is going to arise. So the first thing that I like to do, just to keep things fun, just to keep things entertained, is I like to look at the birthday announcements. Facebook actually sends you a notification every single day, like, hey, it's your friend's birthday. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Truthfully, you may not have been thinking about them, but it does give you a little bit of a highlight. So that way you have a reason to reach out to that person. So what I like to do is before I reach out to them, I check their Facebook wall just to see when was the last time they were active. Like some people may have moved on to a different platform, or some people just got off of social media altogether. So I look to see when they were last active. If they were not active in the past week, I incorporate that into my message. So I'd be like, hey, so and so, just dropping by to wish you a happy birthday. I see you haven't been online in a while. I hope everything is okay. Give it about a week. If they don't respond, I remove them. Like just because they're actually hurting your algorithm. So in short, the algorithm is how many friends do you have versus how many friends are engaging with your post. So that person not engaging with your post because they're not on Facebook anymore is actually hurting you. Okay. So another thing that you can do is you can use the stories. So the stories, I didn't notice this on Apple or on my iPad. Let me just say iPad, but on Android as well as the Facebook web browser, you have stories. So you can scroll through the person's stories and you can actually communicate with them directly through their stories. That goes directly to their actual inbox. Okay. And then this is what I really, really like to do. This is what has helped me step my game up and helped me become more effective. If you have more than 100 friends on Facebook, it is hard to keep in contact with all of them. It is hard to notice every single thing that they are doing, right? And then, of course, with the algorithm, you may not even see their post. So I like to use the friends list feature, and I'm actually going to show you exactly how I use this feature, okay? So I like to use the friends list feature to keep track of my new friends. I break it down by the month that I've actually added them as a friend, and then I break it down by the conversations that we had. So if it was somebody who expressed interest in joining Avon or becoming an Avon representative, I have a list called presented already. This just lets me know like, hey, you've already talked to them about this. But then also one thing that I like to do is I like to change the settings on my actual post. So for those of you who don't know, with each post that you make on Facebook, you can set who can see it. So I like to target certain groups at times. So if it's somebody that I already spoke to about the opportunity, I might say like, hey, you guys, did you see we have this new special offer going on? Because they already know what I'm talking about. Okay. As well as if I wanted to do something just like for my new friends, like shout out to my new friends, I love y'all, or whatever the case may be. Now, a second thing that I like to do is I do this more frequently, but starting out for you is I would go through all of the outgoing friend requests that you have sent and delete anyone who has not responded. Do this maybe within the two to three times per week, because sending too many friend requests and people are not actually accepting your friend requests looks bad in Facebook eyes, and they say, hey, this person is spamming, and so they might throw you in Facebook jail. So you just want to go through and just delete those type of requests. All right. Now, something that helps you get your Facebook friends request accepted is making sure that your profile is active as well, making sure that you have public posts, making sure that you don't look like a spammer. You don't want your page to be just full of actual what's the word, sales ads or things where you're just strictly promoting your business. So before this video gets too long, I am actually going to show you my daily method of operation, how I'm using the friends list to initiate new conversations and also to actually private message people, and how I pretty much just organize everything on a day-to-day basis. So stay tuned, and I'm going to flip over to the actual web browser. So the video, you guys, I said for the month of January, I was expecting about 75 new friends. I've actually reached over 75. I am currently at 83 new friends for the month of January. And as you see, I got like 11 hours left of this day. I have already sent out 5 new friend requests, so maybe I'll hit 85 new friends for the month of January. Which is good about that is because now I have 85 new people to talk to. I got 80 new 5 people to talk to see if I can help them or if they can help me, or we just never know. As long as you're keeping the communication open with no expectations, you have absolutely no idea where that communication can actually help you. All right. So as you see, I already have a list for February 2019. The reason why I did that, you guys, is because I didn't want anyone that I just accepted or someone who just accepted my friend request like yesterday or today. I didn't want them to get lost with the people who had already been accepted in the very beginning of January. So my whole thing is I just want to make sure that nobody is getting left behind. And that way I am properly communicating with each and every person. Now, what I like to do is I like to keep in contact with this new group so that way I can build relationships. And as I'm commenting on their post, you guys, they're actually going to start to see my name and see my face a little bit more often. And then that way they're going to be like, okay, I recognize this person. So when I do inbox them, they're not going to be like, oh, wait a minute, where you come from? They'll be like, okay, cool. She seemed cool. I was talking to her. So now with the friends list feature, you guys, I have selected the list of January 2019. So this way my news feed is nothing but new friends. And then that way I can literally just go, and if I see something that I like, I can actually just comment on it and keep it moving. So I like to do this 15, 20, no more than 30 minutes per day, right? You have to be focused, you have to be strategic, and I just comment on the actual post, right? More than a hustler, I am the definition of it. Amen. All right. And so what I like to do is I simply just go boom. All right. And then I just comment on their things. Now, what I like to do, right, is I want to make sure that I have reached out and spoken to everybody. And what I like to do is I like to see all of my friends on this list, okay? So I see all. Where we at? Come on, baby. And what I like to do is I like to just make sure that I have actually private messaged each and every single person. Like there's no need in me actually adding them as a friend if I'm not actually communicating with them. So you see the first, second, third row, I've already spoken to them all privately, okay? Like, and this is how I'm building relationships. This is how I'm talking to people about the actual business, right? This is how I am continuing to actually grow, all right? This is why you see I have some notifications up in the top right corner from people who are actually responding to me. So what I like to do is be like, and I set a goal to reach out to 5 people on that list per day. And so pretty much what I do is I say, hey girl, or hey, whatever the person's name is. Like I just wanted to stop by and introduce myself. I didn't want to seem like this weird everything, but I think you're pretty cool and you're super, whatever the case, whatever I saw about them. This is why it's important for you to only communicate or connect with people who you can truly communicate with. Like if you can't say anything positive about them, if you can't say anything that you've noticed about their profile, you probably should not add them as a friend. Like I believe in being authentic. I believe in being genuine. I don't want to lie to anybody about anything. So every compliment that I give is going to be genuine. Okay. So And then this is what I do. So I go through this each and every time. I do this every day, right? Just to make sure I show love to my new people, because when I like their stuff, guess what? My posts are going to show up more in their news feed so they get to see my content as well. So for the month of January, like I said, you guys, January is still January 31st. So technically, I got six people, six friends from January added to the actual January list as well. And I just go through and I make sure that I'm communicating with them and just commenting on their posts. And guess what? They're going to return the actual favor. But then I'm also going to take it a step further and I'm going to private message them. Now, why am I doing this? Because I don't want to leave things up for hope, right? I don't want people to simply, like, what happens if they don't necessarily see my post? What happens if they weren't online that day? What happened if they weren't online in the last 2 days? Or what if they have like 5,000 friends and so they just don't see my post, right? I don't want to leave it up to hope. So I am going to take that initiative and actually reach out and communicate with them. So each day I look at the list and I go through and I comment on five different people's posts, and then I actually message them just to introduce myself, and then we talk like real people. Like I say, hey, what's up? And a lot of people like, oh my God, I saw that you posted about this, or I can be like, hey, I saw that you posted about that, right? So now what I want to do is I want to show you guys how to see your friend request. So as you see, I have almost 20, well, I got 2,100 friends, okay? And I actually go through and I delete friends, as I said, like if they are not active, or if I accidentally, because I'm going to say accidentally, if I accidentally added somebody and they're just super negative, I remove them as well. So each and every day I'm just managing my friends list, okay? And then this is how you can, and as you can see, I have quite a few people who have sent me friend requests that I have not accepted. I always screen those friends. I say, hey, what's going on? How are you? I would love to know what prompted you to connect. A lot of people don't even respond. So if you can't respond to my private message, then we have absolutely no point or reason in actually being friends. All right, so now so I clicked on the friends to show you that I have pending friends, but I want you to go to view sent request. All right. And then from here, you can actually go see more requests, and you can just click and click, can't talk, click cancel to remove that friend request. So that's what I do frequently. So that way I am not, like having hundreds and hundreds of friend requests sent out that are not being accepted. And as I said, oh, it's time for me to make my little birthday rounds. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna check and see. Um, all right, so I know that they're all active. Even the fact that she's doing a fundraiser or she's raising money for something lets me know that she's active, so I didn't have to check her profile. But I've actually already seen some of these posts in my newsfeed, so I know that all four friends are currently active. Instead of just doing this generic right on Clarissa's timeline, I'm actually going to private message her to wish her a happy birthday, because I guarantee most people aren't going to do that. They're just going to do like a simple happy birthday or happy B-day on her wall. So I'm just going to take the initiative to actually send her a private message. And you'll be surprised. So many people say, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I've seen what you've been doing. You seem so nice. You seem so sweet. You seem so cool. Or I wanted to know more about what you're doing. And they just reach back out to you. So it's a good way to actually build relationships. And then as you actually start to talk to people, right? And they seem super cool. You're like, oh my goodness, you just seem amazing. What do you do? Or where are you from? And people open up and start talking to you more about their actual business. And in turn, what do? They ask about your business. So it's all just about being genuine, being a real person, not looking at people as numbers. Make sure that you are communicating with people. If you see somebody you want to compliment them, you guys. Like, don't be that person like, oh my God, I want to tell her she was cute, but I don't know how she's gonna take it. Just compliment her. You never know how that compliment may actually help somebody. Like, we're all going through things in our personal life, and sometimes it just helps so that somebody is actually acknowledging what we're doing. So if you see somebody, compliment them. Like, private message them and just tell them, like, I just always wanted to tell you that you are so positive, so uplifting, so inspiring, or you're just so beautiful. I love your makeup skills. I love your skin, right? Just compliment them. If you see it, compliment. Like, don't be like the silent lover, right? Just go ahead and tell them, like, hey, I just wanted to let you know. And so, as I said, I was going to try to keep this video short. Kind of went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I am going to cut it short now and say, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. If you are interested in actually joining Avon or becoming an Avon representative or an Avon customer, you guys, go to www.beautybosswins.com. That's beautybosswins with an S.com, and you can sign up to receive 10% off your online order as well as see a current brochure, or join the Avon family and be mentored by yours truly, Natalie Butler. Have a good one.